Maximum extension of elbow and wrist, maximum external rotation of shoulders. We are going to depress our sternum down toward the ground and do slight flexion of the cervical spine. Our chin is tucked in, crown of the head is away, eyes looking down between our thighs to put the dura mater under tension. And this is the T2, T3 ELDOA. Hey everyone, Steven here with Team Euphoric, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to be your own therapist by demonstrating the top 5 ELDOA exercises for posture correction, and more specifically, I'm going to be teaching you how to correct hyperkyphosis of the thoracic spine. Before I actually get on with the exercises, I want to do a quick recap of what exactly hyperkyphosis is and why exactly you should care. Hyperkyphosis of the thoracic spine is when you develop excessive flexion or curvature in the thoracic spine, and you're going to develop that hunchback shape. And ideally, you should have anywhere from 20 to 40 degrees of curvature in the thoracic spine, and you want it to be evenly distributed. You would want 10 to 20 degrees of curvature at the top and 10 to 20 degrees at the bottom. Whenever it goes beyond that range of motion, that is when it is going to be considered dysfunctional, and if you don't address it, it can lead to things like neck pain, mid-back pain, shoulder pain, and a whole host of other issues, so you would want to address it immediately. And one of the ways in which we could address it would be to do some strengthening exercises for the muscles that are responsible for extension of the thoracic trunk. We ended up doing those exercises a few days ago. I'm going to include a link right up over here to the top 5 strengthening exercises for posture correction to correct hyperkyphosis. And in that video, we ended up doing the strengthening exercises for the longissimus muscle, the iliocostalis, the spinalis, and also the middle trapezius and the inferior trapezius muscles. Once you've done those strengthening exercises, a terrific complement to those exercises would be to do some myofascial stretching exercises for the muscles that are responsible for flexion of the trunk. And also, because hyperkyphosis is often coupled with medial rotation of the shoulders and protraction of the scapula, we can also do some myofascial stretching exercises for the muscles that are responsible for medial rotation of the shoulders and also protraction of the scapula. We did those exercises a couple days ago. I'm going to include a link right up over here to the top 5 myofascial stretching exercises for posture correction to correct hyperkyphosis of the thoracic spine. But let's say you've done the strengthening exercises, you've done the myofascial stretching exercises, and you're still not seeing the results that you would like to see. A third problem that can arise is you may have dysfunction to the nerves that are responsible for extension of the thoracic trunk. The reason that could be a problem is because if those nerves have any type of damage or compression, then the nerves are not going to be able to send the proper signal to the muscles that are responsible for trunk extension, and that could lead to things like neck pain, shoulder pain, and mid-back pain. So what we could do to address that would be to do some ELDOA exercises. The ELDOAs are going to be terrific because if you have any type of damage or compression to a nerve, the whole purpose of an ELDOA is to create space within a joint. So if we create space within the joints at the nerve roots that are responsible for extension of the trunk, that can improve the nerve function, and that could help to alleviate issues with regard to hyperkyphosis of the thoracic spine. So in terms of the actual nerve roots, when we ended up doing the strengthening exercise, the longissimus, that's going to be innervated by the dorsal rami of the lower cervical spine and also the thoracic and lumbar spinal nerves. The iliocostalis is also going to be innervated by the dorsal rami of the lower cervical spine and also the thoracic and upper lumbar cervical spinal nerves. Then we have the spinalis muscle, also innervated by the dorsal rami of the lower cervical spine and also the thoracic nerves. And then lastly, we have the middle and inferior trapezius, which are both innervated by the spinal accessory nerves, more specifically your cranial nerve number 11, and even more specifically, it's going to be your C3 and C4 nerve roots. So for today, we're going to be taking you through the T8, T9, the T6, T7, T2, T3, C4, C5, and C3, C4 ELDOA exercises. But without further ado, here are the top 5 ELDOA exercises for posture correction to correct hyperkyphosis of the thoracic spine. The first ELDOA exercise for posture correction to correct hyperkyphosis of the thoracic spine is going to be the T8, T9 ELDOA. For the T8, T9 ELDOA, we're going to be in a seated position and we want the heels in line with the ischial tuberosities. If you don't know where that is, make a fist. Roughly the width of one fist width is going to be the level of your ischial tuberosity, so that's how far apart you want your heels to be. Then, from here, what you want to do is maximally flex your hips and knees until your lumbar spine starts to round. As soon as your lumbar spine starts to round, you want to stop right over there. From this position, we want to create maximum myofascial tension in the lower extremity by creating a lemniscat. We're going to do that by raising up the big toe, flattening the medial arch, going into external rotation of tibia, medial rotation of femur, retroversion of pelvis, flat lumbar, flat thoracic, chin tucked in, crown of head up, eyes looking down at the floor to put the dura mater under tension with the arms, maximum extension of elbow and wrist, maximum external rotation of shoulders, flex the shoulders to the level of the coronal plane, so biceps in line with the ear. We're pressing up with the palms, up with the crown of the head, and this is the T8, T9 ELDOA. Next, the second ELDOA exercise for posture correction to correct hyperkyphosis of the thoracic spine is going to be the T6, T7 ELDOA. For the T6, T7 ELDOA, once again, we're in a seated position, and for this one, we're going to sit cross-legged. So let's go ahead and cross our legs. Then, from this position right over here, we want to press our knees down into the ground. We're going to go into retroversion of the pelvis, flat lumbar, flat thoracic, chin tucked in, crown of the head is up, eyes are looking down at the floor, tip of the dura mater under tension with the arms. We want to bring the arms together, and we want the fingertips just touching. We're not pressing, and we want, if we were to slide a piece of paper, we would want it to glide in and out nice and easily. Then from this position, what we want to do is we are going to flex the shoulders to the level of the coronal plane, so biceps are in line with the ear, and then we want to go into maximum extension of elbows by bringing the fingertips up toward the sky without letting the fingers press into each other. So we're pressing up with the palms, up with the crown of the head, down with the knees, and this is the T6, T7 ELDOA. Next, the third ELDOA exercise for posture correction to correct hyperkyphosis of the thoracic spine is going to be the T2, T3 ELDOA. For the T2, T3 ELDOA, we're going to be in a quadruped position. So your 4-point, your hands and knees, you want your hips stacked directly over your knees, and then what you want to do is we are going to walk our arms forward so that our arms are in level at the level of the coronal plane, so biceps in line with the ear. From this position right over here, maximum extension of elbow and wrist, maximum external rotation of shoulders, we are going to depress our sternum down toward the ground and do slight flexion of the cervical spine. Our chin is tucked in, crown of the head is away, eyes looking down between our thighs to put the dura mater under tension, and this is the T2, T3 ELDOA. Next, the fourth ELDOA exercise for posture correction to correct hyperkyphosis of the thoracic spine is going to be the C4, C5 ELDOA. For the C4, C5 ELDOA, we're going to be in a supine position, meaning you're laying down on your back. From this position right over here, we want to flex the hips until our sacrum lifts up off the ground. The reason we're doing that is because we want to relax the abdominals as much as possible. We then want to go into dorsiflexion of ankles, eversion of ankles, and then at the spine, we want to maintain retroversion of pelvis, flat lumbar, flat thoracic, our chin is tucked in, crown head away, eyes are looking down between our thighs to put the dura mater under tension with the arms. Maximum extension of elbow and wrist, maximum external rotation. We're going to project the palms upward, and then at the cervical spine, we want to go ahead and lift our head 2 centimeters off the ground. 2 centimeters is roughly the width of 2 fingertips, so we're going to take 2 fingertips, we're going to place it behind our head, and this is the C4, C5 ELDOA. Next, the fifth and final ELDOA exercise for posture correction to correct hyperkyphosis of the thoracic spine is going to be the C3, C4 ELDOA. The C3, C4 ELDOA, it's identical with the exception of the arm position. We're flexing the hips until the sacrum lifts up off the ground to relax the abdominals. We got dorsiflexion of ankles, eversion of ankles, retroversion of pelvis, flat lumbar, flat thoracic, chin is tucked in, crown head away, eyes are looking down at the floor to put the dura mater under tension with the arms. Maximum extension of elbow and wrist, maximum external rotation of shoulders. For this one, we want to flex the shoulders to 45 degrees. So we're going to press on a 45-degree diagonal. And then what we want to do is with the chin tucked in and the crown of the head pressing away, we want to lift our head once again 2 centimeters off the ground. So take 2 fingertips, and this is the C3, C4 ELDOA. And there you have it. Those were the top 5 ELDOA exercises for posture correction to correct hyperkyphosis of the thoracic spine. If you have hyperkyphosis or if you have issues with regard to neck pain, mid-back pain, or shoulder pain, go ahead and give those exercises a try. And if you have given them a try, go ahead and drop your comments down in the comment section and let me know what you guys thought. In terms of the actual program itself, what you want to do for the strengthening exercises, you want to do 3 sets of 50 repetitions, and that's 5-0, not 1-5. The reason we're going so high with the repetitions is because we're trying to elicit a postural change. Whenever we're trying to elicit a postural change, one of the most important things is going to be accumulating time under tension. And if we do the typical 8 to 12 bodybuilding repetition rep range, we're not going to be able to accumulate that time under tension. So 3 sets of 50 repetitions for each of those strengthening exercises. Then, once you've done the strengthening exercises, next we're going to do the myofascial stretching exercises. For the myofascial stretching, we want to do 3 sets of 30-second holds on each side, and you want to do them every single day because once again, we're trying to elicit a postural change. So because we're trying to elicit a postural change, if we only do the exercises once a week or once a month, we're not going to be able to see the true benefit of the myofascial stretching exercises. So 3 sets of 30 seconds every single day. Then, once you've done the myofascial stretching exercises, you're going to finish off with the ELDOA exercises. The ELDOA exercises, you want to do 1 set of a 60-second hold for each of the ELDOA postures, and you want to do 60 seconds from the time that you get into the final posture, not 60 seconds from the time that you start to set up. But go ahead and give those exercises a try. And if you do have hyperkyphosis of the thoracic spine or neck pain, shoulder pain, or mid-back pain, those will greatly help to alleviate all of those symptoms. But that's pretty much it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to smash that like button so I know to keep making these types of videos in the future. And if you're either new to the channel or haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, as I will be uploading new videos every single day. That's it for today's video. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you again tomorrow.